Good morning, Senior Bride here. And this morning I'm kind of talking about something that I think interests a lot of us. It's how those who are 100 or older actually experience and navigate their lives. And it's about centenarians. And the fact is that aging that long shows resilience, both of spirit and physicality. Those who reach that milestone just defy our expectations. And they offer insights into longevity, well-being, adaptability. They give us so much on how to live a meaningful and well-intentioned existence. So let's first of all talk about the basic demographics. We know that a century ago, for example, living past 100 was just very rare. It almost never happened. But because of advances in things like healthcare, nutrition, living standards, all of that, it's changed. The fact is that centenarians are actually one of the fastest growing populations in the world. As of 2023, now it depends on whose stats you go by, but basically there were approximately 600,000 centenarians globally. And those numbers are expected to grow significantly over the next few decades. Some of you may have heard of blue zones. These are environments, or they're found in countries certainly, where advanced healthcare systems like Japan and Italy, the United States, as well as specific regions like Okinawa, Sardinia, and Icaria, tend to have a very high percentage of centenarians. Now, not surprisingly, centenarians do tend to share traits that contribute to their longevity. And these include, obviously, genetics, but also an active lifestyle, balanced diet, and strong social connections and positive mental health. That being said, their experiences, their choices, their philosophies vary widely because they come from very different places. So let's look at their daily routines. There's both structure and adaptation. Many centenarians comment that their lifestyles are dictated by kind of routine, their physical limitations, and their personal preferences. So yes, age can bring challenges like reduced mobility or chronic illness, but what is common to many centenarians is that they lead active, purposeful lives. So we'll start with like morning rituals. And for those with limited mobility, it might simply involve gentle stretching, meditation, or even just enjoying sunrise. For those who have a little bit more mobility, it's things like walking, yoga, tai chi, anything to maintain flexibility and circulation. As well, many centenarians prioritize nutritious breakfast meals. So, for example, in the blue zones, this often includes plant-based foods like fruit, whole grains, and nuts. In Okinawa, centenarians tend to favor sweet potatoes and miso soup, while in Sardinia, they often enjoy slices of whole grain bread with olive oil and fresh tomato. These aren't just about nourishment, but also about the ritual, community, and many, or some centenarians at least, eat with family or friends. By midday, those who are physically active enjoy gardening as a very popular activity. It provides light exercise, and it also offers a sense of purpose and connection with nature. Others may spend their afternoons engaging in all kinds of hobbies, knitting, painting, music, whatever. And these are activities meant to stimulate the brain and provide also a sense of creative fulfillment. For those who live in care facilities or with family, they often spend time in social interaction. They share stories, play games, or simply chat, and this fosters a sense of belonging and keeps them mentally active. Some cultures encourage naps or periods of rest after lunch, which allows the body to recharge. In the evening, it can often be quieter for centenarians with things like reading, television, reflection. Many follow a consistent bedtime routine, and they prioritize sleep as a cornerstone of their health. It's also noted that research does suggest that centenarians have better sleep hygiene, and they tend to go to bed and wake up at regular times. So, what are the health practices that these folks have? Well, as much as genetics are important, it's important to recognize that lifestyle is very important. So, their dietary habits, they tend to be moderate, and they tend to be balanced. They consume fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and minimize processed foods and sugars. So, for example, you've heard of the Mediterranean diet, the Okinawan diet. These are rich in antioxidants and healthy fats, and that's particularly noteworthy. You should be thinking about that. There's this also very common among centenarians is this act of caloric restriction. So a lot of them report eating till they're about 80% full and then stopping themselves. And in Okinawa, this is known as Harahashi Bu. It helps prevent overeating and supports metabolic health. There's also the issue of physical activity. For many centenarians, staying active is key. And I'm not talking about like strenuous exercise, just moderate activity. So, walking, gardening, dancing, any kind of movement that keeps us flexible and healthy. There's also mental and emotional well being. And many credit optimism, resilience, and the ability to adapt as important and key reasons for their long lives. So they engage in practices like meditation and prayer, maintaining a positive outlook. They also find that social connections are important. Many centenarians have strong bonds with family, friends, and their community. Loneliness, loneliness and isolation, which are, as we know, a little bit too common among older people, can be mitigated by their active participation in social activities, cultural traditions, and community actions. And then there's healthcare access. Many centenarians are very proactive about their health. They attend regular checkups. They manage chronic conditions effectively. They attribute their longevity to a combination of both modern medicine and traditional remedies. So they demonstrate this balanced approach to health, holistic and modern. In regard to relationships and social life, it's important to recognize that many centenarians have outlived family members, children, spouses, friends, colleagues, but they exhibit this remarkable ability to adapt to these issues and changes, and they form new relationships. They stay very socially engaged. They have family connections, and they may live near their children, grandchildren, or even great grandchildren. They create multi-generational households, and these connections, they provide a sense of emotional support, a sense of purpose, opportunities to share life experiences. They're very positive. They also engage with their communities through community groups, religious organizations, or clubs, anything where they can interact with others. And there are cultures, for example, in Asia and the Mediterranean that value elders. And in these cultures, centenarians are often respected figures and they contribute to social cohesion. And then there are romantic relationships. Although less common, some centenarians may maintain or even form romantic relationships. And these bring joy and companionship. They prove that love and connection really does not have age limits. So when you ask a centenarian to reflect on their lives, um, one of the things they talk about is staying positive. They emphasize the importance of letting go of grudges, of forgiving others, and finding joy in the smaller moments. They talk about adaptability. Some of them have survived wars, economic hardships, uh, personal losses, and this has taught them resilience and adaptability and the ability to just embrace change. They feel a sense of purpose. So it may be through work, it may be through family, it may be through hobbies, but they feel like they have a reason to get up every morning. And they leave a legacy of wisdom. So they see themselves as the custodians of history and their wisdom. They take pride in sharing life stories, passing down traditions, inspiring younger generations. Their lives do serve as a reminder of the importance of perspective, of patience, and perseverance. Now, what are some of the realistic challenges that centenarians experience? Of course, there are physical limitations, chronic illnesses, the loss of loved ones. So, in regard to health challenges, these can be the ones we expect, like arthritis, diminished hearing and vision, a little bit of frailty, the difficulty moving. But what is important to note is that many manage these conditions with the support of caregivers, assistive technologies, and just adaptive practices. There is the issue of social isolation. So outliving others can obviously lead to loneliness, especially for those who do not have close family bonds. But communities and care facilities that foster engagement are crucial in combating this issue. And then, of course, there are the financial concerns. Living beyond 100 can certainly strain financial resources, and that is particularly true for those who do not have robust uh, pensions or savings plans. Um, Societies really must adapt to support the growing number of centenarians, and I speak to governments on this. You have a responsibility to your citizens. Uh, as life expectancy continues to rise, it's important to note that centenarians offer valuable insights into how societies can support the growing aging population. So advances in healthcare technology and social structures will play a critical role in this. And as we know, other people are speaking out. They're talking about how they've lived such long and healthy lives. With technological innovations, things like wearing a health monitor, smart home devices, these things are transforming the way that centenarians live their daily lives. And telemedicine, mobility aids, these are all making it easier for these older people to live independently. There are also cultural shifts that are happening. As societies are beginning to recognize how important those of us who are older are, not just as recipients of care, but as contributors to cultural, to social environments, to our behavior. These kinds of programs that encourage intergenerational interaction and lifelong learning are actually bridging the gap between young and old and increasing health and vitality for our centenarians. So ultimately we know that, centenarians are markedly resilient, they're adaptable, and they have an appreciation for the simple things in life, for the daily things. They have routines, health practices, and relationships that show, again, that resilience and adaptability, but also suggest that they are coping with challenges that are inevitable as they age. We can learn from their experiences, not only to support them, but to support ourselves and help ourselves have not just longer lives, but greater quality of life. And I believe that this is more than just a testament to the things they do, it's a testament to their strength of character. And we can certainly evolve to become as they are. So for someone like me who's 61, comes from a family of women with long lives, I I really feel empowered by what I hear that our centenarians are doing. And with that, I say, if you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and share. Please explore. And remember, do share, as I said, with those who might be interested. Share with a centenarian if you know one. And remember, to be senior is to be proud. Hugs.